Hello there. How are you guys doing today? This is another episode of the Digital Quill podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. It's kind of a let's play episode while I give my hands something to do in the background, but also a few talking points today. I wrote some notes down. Currently the tabletop tripod, I did this the other day, is resting on top of the notepad here, and I can't show you the notes. Actually, notes. But yep, that is my notes for the day and today's episode, and we are going to kind of hop into it and also play this game. Ignore the name title to the save. There's a reason. I decided a long time ago that I would take my longest time possible on the save and actually try to do like everything. And then they updated and it was like, oh, it's an entirely game-changing update. I really hate that there's so much dust out there right now. I looked outside and I'm like, oh, so that's what we're dealing with. No, thank you. Let's see. Oh, yes. There it is. This is what they've added to the game, and I have to say I'm really glad for the developers because like they're still working on this masterpiece, and the fact that they were willing to add a addition that the community has kind of been asking for in a way, the ability to evolve spirits and stuff, which is actually, let's take a field trip real quick. These things. So today's first topic is actually gaming related, and I guess I should be playing the game when talking about it. That would make sense, right? However, I'm just gonna hop into it because the part I'm talking about isn't actually in the game yet. It's actually something that they announced, let's see, what time is it? An hour and a half ago. They are, now hold your breath, because I know that this is, as I've stated numerous times, and I'm never not going to state it because I just have to put it out there to remind myself mostly that I am feeding a corporate machine. I am not proud of it, but I enjoy the game, more or less, when it isn't doing the bad game parts, which is less than more often than not sometimes, honestly. Like, sometimes it has a good track record. Sometimes. But I can't help but notice the bad track record. I am about giving chances. So, it does stick around, and I do put too many hours into it. But, yeah, the trailer that they announced today, they're adding a new expansion come this November. We now have equestrian mounts. Yes, we now have the ability to, one, Tinkerbell's coming to the update. That's a win. I also had a feeling that they were going to put her behind a paywall. I was like, Peter Pan is base game. Tinkerbell's gonna be the next DLC, isn't she? Lo and behold, I called it. However, horses. They have horses now. It's a whole ranch. You can ride them. You can befriend them. Horses, guys. It's horses. I always wanted one growing up. My mom almost had one, but it would have lived in New Mexico. And we visited a lot. I'll give us that. But horse. I don't know what to say. The DLC actually looks better than the others. It looks like we don't know much yet. We don't know anything. They just said the developer showcase will be in October. I'm getting the DLC. I already decided. As soon as they were like, oh yeah, you have equestrian mounts now, I'm like, I had a feeling, based upon the artwork that they shared, let's see, a few days ago on their social medias, and I was like, and we're getting riding mounts, aren't we? That's what's next. The community's been asking for that. They haven't added the horse from Tangled yet. They have almost all the other characters from Tangled. The next DLC involves Tinkerbell, and it's gonna have to involve the horse in some way. If you're not listening to the video episode of this podcast, I am staring directly into the camera, into the soul of Gameloft and Disney Dreamlight Valley. Because I get it, guys. I know you just really love your money, and you're probably losing some. But come on. And I have to admit, I thought about it earlier today, because I'm like, how much is it going to be? Probably between 50 to 70 for what I want. Maybe. And then, because I want I'm going to want the one that comes with the more moonstones, because I have a moonstone problem. I like the premium shop, and I also unlocking the premium rewards path, so I have more things to do when I play the game. I need the moonstones because I was stupid when I first bought it and ended up spending all of them instead of saving them, because I didn't know that they were gonna... I got it in 2022, okay? I've learned a lot about the game since then. And the more I learn, the more I'm torn. Because, like, it's not like the best game in the world. It's not like this one, you know, where it's like clearly they put love and time into it. And by the way, it automatically pauses if it detects that you haven't been at the controller or playing the game for a minute. So it doesn't count down your days too fast. I think it does that after like 5 minutes or so, or even less. It's kind of nice. I figured that out one time and I'm like, oh, interesting. It's the little things the small developers do for us that I'm just like, and this is why I love you, and I hate hate you. And I'm pointing in the direction of Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is off in nowhere space over here somewhere. So yeah. But oh, by the way, if this is a recorded audio-only version of the podcast for you, you are not going to know that I am playing Moonstone Island, which is a game I've talked about several times. Which is a shame. So if you want to watch the video podcast of this episode, either go to YouTube or help me figure out how to get the video episodes onto Spotify as well. Because I am not a genius. I am honestly quite stupid sometimes. I know things, I figure things out, but in the grand scheme of things, with how much there is to know and how much inexperience I do have, let's just say that I could use the help. Maybe I'll figure it out. I'm sure I've got this. I usually got this, I think. Or I don't, and I won't. Let's see, but yes, Dreamlight fucking Valley. The DLC is coming out in November. They're doing the showcase for it in October, which means we will probably get the roadmap for the rest of the year, and then for the first part of next year, if I had to guess. Which kind of ties up with the idea that I was trying to make in my trying to figure out if financially I could end up swinging this at some point, because it is money in a game that I don't necessarily agree with company-wise, but it's a game that I enjoy playing and I put entertainment value into it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, there haven't been a lot of games that I've purchased throughout the years lately because I kind of built up my Nintendo library to what I want it to be. And I was thinking, I was like, this is like one of the few games that I do play and put a lot of time into per year, and adding to it wouldn't be such a bad idea, especially if it gives features that are worthwhile. I used to play a few different Wii games back in the day for horses, and some of them were fun. Twilight Princess in particular was actually kind of there were a few others that were more ranch and stable based, but and I watched extensively the heck out of Heartland. But they did it. They found the one mechanic that would actually increase the fun in Dreamlight Valley. They did it. And I'm excited, but at the same time, my anti-capitalism brain is like, but Mars, remember, you also dislike this place. And I'm like, I know. But horses, I can't have one in the city or in an apartment. I mean, nah, that wouldn't be a good idea. Someone could dream. So yeah, since video games are meant to simulate real life in a way, because it's fun, I guess, especially when you can figure out how to dedicate time to it in a way that doesn't take away from actual life, which a long time ago was a problem for me. Now it's like the opposite problem. Now I'm trying to figure out how to like do the thing I enjoy doing. Part of that might be depression, actually. Might need to get that looked at. I love the animations on these things. But, yep. Let's see. Much excitement. That is the note under new DLC. Still in the search, I suppose. I'm still in the search for guests and co-hosts, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it easy for people to submit that they wish to be guest, or for me to schedule it in a way that I will remember who I invite and when and where and why and how. But brain will work on that. Brain has much to figure out over time. And yes, I am referring to my brain in the third person, I think. I think that's the third person. I'm exhausted. I need more of this in my life. More caffeine. I did not sleep well. I actually woke up a lot. And maybe I need less caffeine. I don't know. Life is one of those crazy things that I sometimes understand, but not always. Oh. I said this on the TikTok the other day. The tiki-taki. Send me your stories at the Dear Mars 2023 or Dear Mars 2023 at gmail.com. Yeah, send me your stories. Send me, and here's like 3 easy ones, I guess. Because I kind of want to do it in the format that I've seen other people who tell stories do. Maybe. Because I feel like that would be fun for me. I know it's cookie cutter and I know I hate doing stuff like that, but like, it's a vision I have in my brain using the foundation or bones I've seen other people use, and then crafting it into something that's not cookie cutter. So material plus the idea equals the execution of the product that I have in my brain. I wish to share it with everyone. Because it involves one of my favorite things, which is people, and storytelling, which I guess is two things. So send me your jail or law or horror stories. Send me anything that involves law or jail or, like, I don't know, something that scarred you. And we will discuss how to put it out there. And then I will put it out there. Mainly because I want to give your story the autonomy and yourself the autonomy to tell your story through me. Because I'm going to feel really weird just sharing stuff verbatim. I don't know how the other humans do it. I'm assuming a form of disassociation, but I can't do that. I can't really, like, I guess, detach too much from people. And maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe there is a reason for that. Okay, the next two notes on here. This one says, why I hate gatekeeping. Evidence of ancient cities, communities. This one over here says, there's a show that a friend of mine or a couple friends of mine are going to try to make or want to make that I think is a good idea. I feel like I'll save that one, the subject, for when that happens, because that'd be neat. Brain is envisioning that. Okay. Yep. Sorry, you're subjected to my thinking out loud while I'm reading my notes. I hope that's cool. I hope that's all right. I hope while you're doing that, or while I'm doing that, while I'm subjecting you to that, you are remembering to still your breathing. Maybe take a sip of water. Take a moment to come to the present in which you are listening to this episode. Take a big deep breath and let it out slowly. Let's go with why I hate gatekeeping. Because I've known some people personally who are fans of gatekeeping. And I get it. Sometimes gatekeeping is necessary in a way. But what is gatekeeping except another form of lying? And I'm not much of a fan of that, even if I do understand the need for lying sometimes too. Or the pretend need, the reason, the excuse. It took me a long time to be able to simplify it and put it into a mere statement. An easy to digest and easy to read statement. And I have an odd relationship with trust and truth. For a lot of different reasons. My rule of thumb is this. The truth is always going to come out. That is a fact. That is a statement that is known and true universally. Do not let the truth come out in a way that damages or hinders other people. And usually, through history and story and evidence and experience, both first-hand and second-hand, if the truth comes out from someone other than the person that the truth needs to come out from, it always ends in a bigger mess than necessary for everybody involved. Tell the truth eventually. Make a point of telling the truth. If you feel you have to lie for any reason, whether it be survival, tell someone you can trust, or someone that can know, someone that can hold that space for you. Don't hold it to yourself. And then make a point of telling the people involved the truth. That is like my idea behind it. Because a lot of us will lie. Some of us will simply lie. We'll say that we're not, well, we'll say we're fine when we're not. And on that aspect, actually, that one, I might say, tell yourself the truth out loud. Say you're not when you're not, and try to move with that, because I've had to do that for myself recently. The telling myself I'm not fine when dealing with a lot of emotional, upheaval. And acknowledging it out loud kind of helped open the space for myself to be like, okay, I'm not okay. What do I do next to become okay again? So, yep, that is my motivation for you in my lesson, maybe my teaching or my inspiration. But acknowledgement is key, and gatekeeping is bad. Gatekeeping knowledge is also kind of I always wonder why you'd want to do that. Why gatekeeping knowledge is, I guess when you live the experience of a dog-eat-dog world or something like that, it's, it makes sense. But come on. Work with me here for a minute. Work with me here for just one moment and think. Just think. Those ancient buildings had to come from somewhere. The perfection, the precision, the lines, the artwork. It wasn't just poofed into existence. Maybe it was. Who knows? It wasn't just poofed into existence. That took an extraordinary amount of, I think, human teamwork and connection. And I'm not saying there weren't problems. And I'm not saying they didn't come into traumatic things that altered their brain chemistry. What happened? Why did we start thinking it was okay to be so vile and hateful toward each other? That's what I don't understand. Instead of actually being progressive in the way of sharing knowledge and being abundant in the form of knowledge and wealth and love and power and unity, we're at each other's throats. Make that make sense. Please make that make sense. Because I've tried to make that make sense for myself, and I got nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've explained it before. Maybe it is my naivety in believing in people and having hope and faith in the fact that we can be prosperous and unified. Almost utopic. And I say almost utopic not because I don't believe in a full utopia, but how would you know to appreciate the utopian if life didn't have a few missteps now and again? But if you have your community, if you have your other people to lean on, and you have your village, your tribe, that little blimp, that part that makes it an almost utopia. An almost. Doesn't feel so bad after all. That's my vision, I guess. That's what I see when I dream. I may be a dreamer, but I don't think I'm the only one. I wonder who said that. And as I said, I need my religious folks to talk to me. Tell me. Help me decode things. Teach me in the most rundown way that my open, closed mind can grasp. Because there's definitely small bias in my world. But I wish to remove that and speak openly. Or I guess listen openly. That would be the correct part of speech I don't remember the name of. Verb? Pausing to reflect sometimes is interesting. It's really interesting when you take into account that you grow a lot. Like a lot sometimes in ways that don't always make sense to you at first. But if you take a moment to pause and reflect, and I'm rambling, but stay with me. If you take a moment to pause and reflect, especially during a moment of growth, when you feel like you're at the very bottom, you actually realize that you're further along than you thought. There is I always forget it. Should tattoo it on the inside of my eyelids. But there is a Japanese thingy where you don't put in, 100% every day. You put in maybe like 1% or 0.05%. Any progress, even like small incremental progress, is better than no progress at all. Sometimes I like to expand on that one just a little bit and say that sometimes you want to have a point of rest. And I guess the smaller percentages are your point of rest, but there's another point. I forget what the wisdom is. It'll probably come to me when I'm reading or something. But in the 0.01% or the 50% or 90% of progress that you make, anything from the small to the big, there also has to be like a level of rest in a way that's the same as like work. So like rest as hard as you work. I think there's that adage. But what I'm trying to say, I guess, any progress is good progress. But resting is okay because that allows you, as I was saying, the space to reflect on the progress you've made. Because if you're always working, even in small amounts, you're not going to be resting. You're not going to be enjoying things. You're just going to be working. And I think that looks different for everybody, but that is wisdom that I experience that I impart onto you. Feel free to tell me your thoughts, comments, questions, and or concerns in the comments below. And actually, it is now finally cloudy. And that means it is not as hot out right now. And I get to eat lunch outside. I know it's super dusty, but I'm already congested. So I don't care. It is time to make my sandwich, go outside, and enjoy the goddamn weather. But first I choose one of these things, which I think speed and bite. Goodbye. So with that being said, this was another shorter episode of the Digital Quill podcast. I'm hoping that my depressed and anxious brain schedules some guests soon, and these podcast episodes go a little longer and are a little more interesting. Because I don't... imposter syndrome, and then just my brain is being challenging at the moment. So, I hope you guys have a great day and a safe one. I will see you next time, probably, I don't know, tomorrow or something. But anyway, have a great whatever. Be safe. Looking forward to the first live streamed episode sometime in September. And keep going, humans of Earth. Thank you for letting me share my time with you, and vice versa. Thank you for being human. Thank you for existing. And thank you for sharing your time with me. I am exhausted. Sigh. Energy is not working. Screw you, energy. Maybe food will help. Anyway, bye. Yes, I'd like to stop.